Hey, welcome back to Ask Nutritionist Deepa. And so, if you're wondering what question I'm answering today, it's about believe it or not, wine. And you would be wondering why Deepa is talking about wine when she doesn't drink some. Well, finally, I have found the solution, and that's what I want to share with you guys. So, if you are looking for a wine which where the grapes were grown in California, is vegan, clean label, and most importantly doesn't have alcohol, then hang in here with me, because to answer what wine is that, I have Mr. and Mrs. Blaine and Esther Vess. They are the co-founders of this new wine company called Semblance, and they are here to help me out with some wine selection. So welcome, Blaine and Esther.
Thank you, Deepa. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you,
All right.
Deepa.
No problem. So before I go on with what you guys have in terms of wine, I want to ask you what triggered you to get into this space, or why wine without alcohol?
Well, we both are drinkers. We
Okay.
like alcohol, but with age, we kind of had to cut down and moderate our alcohol consumption.
Okay.
But when we try to look for alternatives out there, there weren't anything that was tasty.
Okay.
So we decided to see if we could create something of our own.
Okay, that's first of all, guys, you are not that old. So
Yeah.
so let not that be the reason, but it's good for having to drink something which doesn't have alcohol is always a good idea. And so tell me a little bit more about it, as to when you decided that's the kind of wine you want to have or produce. Where did you go? What was the process? Or just tell us a little bit like a story behind the product.
Sure. So we started exploring the space, trying different products out there. Tried some still wines. We tried some non-alcoholic beers, a number of different products. And we initially thought we might develop a beer, but that space has gotten pretty crowded, and there's some products in the space that we really like. And we decided that we're wine lovers, so let's try to develop a wine and see how it goes. And after tasting a number of products in the space, we decided that we wanted to start with a sparkling wine. We thought we could probably make something good in that world. So that's where we started. And as you know, we've started some businesses in the past, but never in the wine, any sort of food or beverage thing. So there was a lot of learning initially, but we just kind of dove right into the space, started learning what we needed to do, met some winemakers, just went head first into it. And
Perfect.
happy to elaborate if there's anything you want to touch on.
Absolutely. No, that's very interesting, because everybody struggles with having a drink, or what to drink rather. And if you are a wine lover or beer lover, and for whatever reason, if you want to cut down on that, but still want to enjoy the concept, then I think having an alternative like this is a perfect solution. So that's great. So can you show us what kind of wine you have? Can you?
Sure, of course. So
And then
this
we'll
this
talk
is
about it as we go around. Oh wow, that's a nice bottle.
Sure. So this is the bottle. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a sparkling wine, so it's the bottle is like a champagne bottle.
Yes.
It's carbonated. But yeah, we try to give it a good look. A lot of the products in the space are very low end.
Correct.
And low end in terms of the quality, as well as in terms of like how you look at the
look and feel of the
aesthetic
bottle.
of the. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to differentiate we started with a premium wine or premium packaging, really just take it up a notch to give people that ability to fit in, kind of like you were saying, give people the ability to fit in when other people are drinking alcohol, like give people a good option. So
Absolutely. I mean, that
yeah.
bottle really looks like a nice champagne bottle. And
Mhm.
so definitely, because you don't want to offer an alternate which doesn't look good as the
Yeah.
Yeah.
as its counterpart. So the look and feel is important, and I'm that's a really good looking bottle. Okay, so
Thanks.
let's talk about what is in that bottle. Let's talk about where you
Sure.
source your grapes and what happens and all that stuff.
Sure. You want to talk about it?
Sure. So our grapes come from Monterey, California. It goes through the same winemaking process as a normal Chardonnay. And from there, we take it to through another process where we gently remove the alcohol without affecting the character of the wine. And during this process, we don't add any sugar to it. So our end profile of the wine is a very crisp, dry, brut-like profile.
I see. That's perfect. And so so basically, it starts with regular grapes, but towards the end, the alcohol is kind of removed, or it's probably not aged as much.
No,
Yeah, it is. It does go through the whole like normal winemaking process.
Interesting.
So we actually start with a Chardonnay wine,
I see.
and then we remove the alcohol using a process that's been around for quite some time that just allows it maintains most of the flavor of the wine.
I see.
So yeah.
So it still has that, how can I say, like a body of wine, like that depth and the mouthfeel of wine, except the alcohol, of course, which is great. And another good thing is there's no added sugar in it or anything, so which is a huge
Right.
plus.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty low calorie as well.
Sure.
Since we removed the alcohol, alcohol has a lot of calories.
Sure.
So like a 5-ounce glass of Semblance has about 25 calories versus, a normal glass of champagne would have about 100 or more.
100 or
So
60 to 100, yeah. And that,
sure,
I
yeah.
mean, some of my audience out there, people, we always talk about when people wonder why they are not losing weight. And if I just ask them, hey, what do you have with your dinner every night? Oh, it's just glass of wine here and there. But when you do 1 to 2 glasses of wine every day,
Yeah.
or even if you do one at the end of the week, it's almost a bottle, and that's a lot of calories. So having an alternate to that is really a good thing, because yeah, alcohol unfortunately does add to the calories, and poor
Yeah.
Definitely.
liver health and inflammation and all that stuff. That's a topic in itself. But that's awesome. And apart from drinking, can this wine be used, I don't know, maybe making like I was thinking I can use it probably to make some sort of a vinaigrette, like a champagne vinaigrette that we make using some champagne, um, or even cooking. Have you done any kind of experimenting with it?
We haven't experimented with cooking with it. I don't see why not. I think it could be used to make a dressing. And then, of course, there are all the, beverages that normally contain alcohol, like a mimosa or something like that.
Yeah.
You could have a non-alcoholic version and still get the flavors of the wine.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, as far as we know, it can be used in all the ways that you'd use a wine that contains alcohol.
Okay, perfect. So that would be something uh, I would love to experiment with, and just to see. Uh, and then what's the shelf life once you open it? Is there a shelf life to it?
Yeah. It should be consumed within a couple days, 1 to 2
Okay.
days, to have the full effect,
Effect.
carbonation.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Yeah, because it's carbonated, just
Mhm.
like any other
Any other
carbonated
beverage?
drink. Once you open it, the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
But you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah, but if you purchase it, it's about a year that it could
Okay.
sit around
Wow.
before it goes bad.
Okay, and that's my next question. Where do you buy it? Where can we find it?
Right now, it's just available at semblance.com.
Okay,
We'd eventually like it to be available in restaurants,
sure,
stores, bars across the country,
sure.
and beyond. But for now, just direct to consumer at semblance.com.
Okay, so I will have the link for your website as part of our podcast notes and on YouTube and everything else. Uh, so
Great, thank
in
you.
the end, would you say that Semblance is clean label, vegan, sparkling wine, which has a flavor and look and feel of Chardonnay, and is alcohol free? Did I cover all the bells and whistles?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, guys, here we are. Now, those of us who don't want to drink alcohol, or those of us who want to drink alcohol but want to curb their alcohol content, moderate their alcohol content, we have a new choice, and that is this Semblance wine. And thank you, Blaine and Esther, for being a guest today on my podcast. And I will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us.